Now, I know nothing about F1. In fact, I know nothing about racing in general. The only thing I know about racing is from the Cars trilogy. So, when walking into F1, I was mainly there for the director of Top Gun Maverick. And, now that I've seen the movie, here's what I thought of it. And yeah, this movie very much feels like it's from the director of Top Gun Maverick because throughout the entire movie, it feels like that movie. But I'll talk about that later. First off, I just want to say that F1 is very much that summer blockbuster movie. The entire movie just feels like that movie, and this is going to be the movie that the general audience will rush to the theaters to see. Because it's the movie with all that buzz around it. It's that movie that's going to get all that attention that every single person is going to want to be included in that buzz. So F1 is just going to be that box office hit this summer, along with a few other July movies. Because it's just going to be that movie that everybody wants to see in the theater, and rightfully so, it deserves that spot. Like I said, it feels like Top Gun Maverick because it's from the same director of Top Gun Maverick. So this movie is very much on the same par as Top Gun Maverick. Not the exact same par, but essentially the same level as Top Gun Maverick is. Same director, same feel. It's very much the same formula, and since that movie works so well, it transitions into F1 thanks to the director. When it comes to the racing scenes, you're at the edge of your seat. You're in suspense. Just because you know the stunts are actually real. You know that Brad Pitt is actually in this F1 car driving around at 200 miles an hour. You know he's actually doing that. And the way the movie's story works, it keeps you hooked the entire time. When a certain something happens on screen, you feel the impact. When a certain moment happens, you feel the impact. Just because it feels like you're in the car with the characters in the story. The movie just immerses you in the world of you actually working in this race station that actually feels like you're there where the characters are. When it comes to the story, it's very predictable, just like Top Gun Maverick was. But sometimes the predictable story is exactly what you want because the movie, although it comes off predictable, although I was guessing what's going to happen before it actually happened on screen, it's thanks to this movie hooking you in and you being engaged into the story. Everything you're predicting, it's not going to be a problem because you're consistently hooked into the film. If you're hooked into a film, you have no problem with predicting what's going to happen next because you're just invested in what's happening on the screen. This underdog-ish story is exactly what this movie needed. I love the route that this movie took. Although we've seen the story plenty of times, this director just does a fantastic job at hooking you in the entire time. He did it for Top Gun Maverick, and he continued to do that with F1. Brad Pitt is a fantastic star in this movie. Tom Cruise was Top Gun, but Brad Pitt is gladly the main star of F1, and rightfully so. He matches that character, and he just fits this story. F1 is the summer blockbuster. It's going to be a massive hit at the box office, and it absolutely deserves it. It feels like Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick was a huge hit. Of course, F1 should follow that. I can't wait to see what this director does next, because obviously, he knows what he's doing. Just like Top Gun Maverick, you're going to want to watch this movie on every single format you can. The theaters, IMAX, 4DX, anything that you can get your hands on, you're going to want to watch this movie in that format. IMAX will immerse you into this race track even more. 4DX will make it feel like you're in the car even more. Just all these different formats will only help your experience with this movie and why you need to watch it in theaters because you will not get that same experience watching it at home. In theaters will immerse you even more. This movie was meant to be seen in theaters in almost every single format. Theaters will give you a certain experience that you won't get at home, because this movie is meant to be seen on the big screen. Now, I know I'm not into racing whatsoever, but after watching F1, I'm interested in the topic. Although I know I don't like the topic, F1 just did a good job at making me hooked the entire time to the story that I'm just in the racing mood. Although I don't like sitting through a race and watching it, I still know almost nothing about a race. I'm just in a racing mood, thanks to this movie. Even though if you're not interested in racing, F1 cars, or anything like that, you still very much enjoy your time with this movie and have to watch it in theaters on the biggest screen possible. But real quick, if you want to help me reach my goal of 1K by the end of the year, consider subscribing. Let's continue. Now obviously, I keep comparing this movie to Top Gun Maverick because it's from the same director and it feels like that movie. It's a great comparison to have, but there are a few things that F1 is not able to do the same as Top Gun Maverick did. First off, Top Gun Maverick stuck in my mind a lot more. F1, I walked out of the theater, I remembered it, I had a great time with it, but it's not sticking in my mind as much as Top Gun Maverick did. Top Gun Maverick just had a much more of an impact than F1 did. Although I enjoyed my time with F1 a lot, almost on the same par as Top Gun Maverick, it's just not sticking in my mind as much as Top Gun Maverick did. It's sticking in my mind a lot, but not as much as Top Gun. I remember the movie, but not as much as I wanted to remember it. A lot of things on screen I loved, but I wanted to remember the rest of the movie a lot more. There's a few montages, kind of before the final act, a little after the second act. When you spend a lot of time fleshing this out, and this out, but you can't flesh this out, I would like to see more there. But only those few problems really brought down F1 because, overall, it's Top Gun Maverick. Same director, same feel. If you enjoy Top Gun Maverick, you are going to enjoy F1. It's essentially feels like the same movie, but with racing instead of planes. You're invested, you're hooked throughout the entire time, and coming from someone who knows absolutely nothing about racing, I really enjoyed my time with this film. But anyways, if you like this video, maybe leave those on the side notes you too. Like, subscribe. See you guys next time. Goodbye.